Good morning, everyone. It's Kevin Blackley here from EzeScan. Thanks to our partners, Tipac, for putting on this webinar this morning. We are just going to go through a basic introduction about EzeScan, just to show you an overview. There'll be more webinars coming in the next few weeks, months, to show some specifics. But today we just wanted to go and touch on a few basic things that EzeScan does, just to, as an introduction to get you going. If anyone has any questions, they can put their questions up in the questions bar. We'll take them and answer them at the end. In the meantime, just a brief introduction about EzeScan. It's a front-end capture piece. We scan from any copier, MFD, and dedicated desktop scanner. We can slice and dice, extract information from documents or emails on the way through, and then we can upload that information, the image and the metadata, to various document management systems, including obviously Xerox DocuShare. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Ming Yap, one of our technical managers, just to show you some basic jobs. As I said, we want to keep this light and breezy today, just as an overview, and in the coming weeks we'll go through and do more in-depth demonstrations. I'll hand over to Ming.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Give me a quick second and make sure that we've got this presentation up and running. Okay, that looks fine. As Kevin's mentioned, we just want to keep this brief, give you a high-level overview today, and go into more of the functionality at a later stage. But if you do have any questions, we'll answer them at the end of the session. So what you can see on my screen at the moment is EzeScan workstation, the desktop view. With this version, it allows users to quick and easily scan documents or import existing documents, process the documents, and upload with metadata into DocuShare. So we've got a number of ways of importing documents or getting documents into EzeScan, not just our traditional scanning paper documents, but we can also import from a network drive. So if you have existing PDFs, TIFF files, any image files that you want to process, you can process them using EzeScan. We can also process emails and email attachments, and obviously traditional paper as well. So we can drive the scanning process in this interface. So whether you want to scan large plans, A0 documents, or down to your business cards or A4 documents, we can do that all within this interface. So what you can see is our kind of dashboard interface with these job buttons. Each of these job buttons are configured to do a different workflow, different functionality. Traditionally, we would say each job button would drive a different document type that you want to scan. So we'll just go through some of these jobs and show you an overview of the functionality of EzeScan. So what I'll do is start off with a very basic job to scan documents and bring up a Save As screen into DocuShare, kind of a level 1 simple integration. So clicking on button number 9, we've scanned some documents in already, so we'll actually be importing documents today. So typically when we scan documents, we want to scan a batch of documents. So this allows us, EzeScan allows us to separate batches either by using black separator pages, a barcode, it could be a barcode on the document, or it could be a barcode cover sheet. We can specify a fixed page count, so if you know exactly how many pages per document, you can identify that using those job buttons as well. So here I've just scanned one document to process, and we'll go through the other examples. Just to note also, when we bring in documents or when we scan documents, EzeScan can apply various enhancements. So rotation of documents automatically. We can delete blank pages. We can deskew, despeckle, all the various scanning enhancements that you require. Okay, so once we're happy with the documents, we can see that on the left-hand side is the thumbnail view, so you can flick through the documents, do a quick quality check on them. And when we're happy, we'll hit the profile button, which is F4, and this will convert the document into a text searchable PDF. Okay, and what we've done is we've built a profile screen into DocuShare. Very simple, but it allows us to directly connect into DocuShare, browse for a folder to store the documents into, or collection, and then we can add basic metadata. So summary, description, keywords, author, so and so. And we've also got these options on the right-hand side, and we'll go through this a bit later, but these enable us to reuse the values that we're selecting. So if you're scanning a batch of documents, you don't want to have to keep browsing for the collection. If you know all the documents in that batch belongs in the same collection, we can actually click on the reuse button and it will remember it for next time. Okay, select the upload, and the document has now gone into DocuShare. So if I go into my DocuShare environment, okay, so you can see here the first document that we've scanned. If we open it up, we can see that it's also made it a text searchable PDF. Okay, so moving along, what we want to do is, instead of having a save as screen, we want to actually drive the metadata indexing process that the user has to perform, rather than having a profile screen that the users don't actually exactly know what to fill in. This will actually prompt the users with the fields that they need to fill out. So button number 8 will allow us to, let's bring in a batch of documents. Okay, so now you can see on the left-hand side, we've got 4 pages which have been scanned in as the current documents. So think of this as maybe a mailroom example, or just scanning ad hoc documents. We want to scan multiple documents at the same time. And to separate the documents, we use this physical black page in between the different documents. So the yellow borders define what the current document is. Red border is the stop, and then it will process the other documents afterwards. So let's process these documents. And instead of having a save as screen, you can see that the metadata or the index fields are now at the bottom of the screen. And this will actually drive the users to index these fields. So we can either type in, let's say, the title of the document, or we have some nice tools here that actually allows us to automatically extract part of the document. So I can lasso part of the document, and you can see here it's OCR that part of the page. So again, great for mailroom examples, letters coming in. You've got your title of the letter on the page, and you just want to identify that title, and we will OCR the document for you. Okay, so these are just the basic fields into DocuShare. So we've got the title, the summary, and then we can browse for the collection. Again, we have this reuse field. So we'll just browse for the collection the very first time, and then it will remember this for the next document. So in the next document, we'll set the title. Summary field, I'll leave this, it's not mandatory. And it's remember the collection. So you can see here, it's just saving us from having to type in information, saving some keystrokes. So there we have it, 3 documents in DocuShare very quickly. Okay, so that's great for ad hoc documents, but what we can also do is scan and extract documents, extract information from documents where we have a structured document. So say we have application forms, survey forms, where the documents look exactly the same each and every time, so we know where the information is. We can create a template for it, and we can define how to extract the information from the template. So we'll be going through that by showing you our what we call our Zone OCR demo. So this is perfect for accounts receivables. As you can see here, our invoices will always remain the same, just the information changes. So we can run through this actually automatically, and we've set up confidence levels on each of those zones. As long as the OCR engine is confident with what is picked up, it will go through this job automatically. So here we're picking up the company name, invoice number, the date, and uploading the information and the image into DocuShare. Okay, that was pretty quick. So in my Zone OCR collection, you can see the new images that we've uploaded and the metadata in the summary field. Okay, so that's, you know, obviously quick and powerful for your structured documents, but we can also process unstructured documents. So a typical example of that would be accounts payable, where we have invoices coming in, all different types of invoices, they all look different, but we still have the very similar information that we want to capture. Okay, so let's bring in some invoices. You can see here, they all look very different, but there's still the information like invoice number, invoice date, supplier name, PO number, the totals. That information will be somewhere on the page. So what we have is what we call our discovery. And with discovery, we look for key items, key words, key patterns on a document, and we can look anywhere in the document or a specific point in the document and still able to extract information even though it moves. So now when I process the document, if it actually doesn't pick up some information, again, we can select to lasso part of the document. Otherwise, we'll just type it in. And then it'll go through the other fields, and as you can see here, it's picking that up pretty well. Traditionally, with the supplier name, we wouldn't actually pick up a supplier name itself from the invoice. We would pick up a VAT number or PO number, and then we can actually look up a third-party database to extract the information from the database and apply it onto the invoice. Again, if it doesn't pick up a field, we can still extract it manually. Okay, so that's scanned 4 invoices in and processed the 4 invoices fairly quickly. Okay, so here we have our invoices, and in the summary field, again, with all the metadata.
So Ming, I just wanted to ask a question there. One of the questions that's come up, I don't know whether you're going to do this or not, you talked about email before. Perhaps you could quickly show us a job some sort of doc around email?
Sure. Okay, so we've got a couple of different buttons here. You can see here the red button with the email import. We've got some jobs which can poll a dedicated email address and import the email or import the attachment or import both. So EzeScan can basically deal with all emails or all attachments coming through. Let's run through this job again so you can actually see the polling process. So go through button number 11. Okay, so now it's actually looking directly into my email address, and I've sent myself an email. This can automatically poll and retrieve emails, but just for the purpose of this demo, I'll show you how to select it individually. We're downloading the emails and downloading the attachments for the emails. Okay, and our metadata fields that we need to capture are down below again. So let's just fill this in. With some of these fields, we can automatically extract them from the email, which will save us a great deal of time. So we can extract any of the header information from the email. So let's say, for example, we want to capture invoices coming through. So we have an invoices at so-and-so.com. All the supplier invoices coming into to the inbox, and we can actually differentiate the suppliers based on who it's coming from. So we can already sort out the different invoices based on the from field, and we can capture the from field automatically. Okay, so you can see here it's captured the subject line, the sender, and we'll submit this document. So now that email would have been saved into DocuShare. The only thing is I don't have an Outlook client here, so it doesn't open up as a proper email, but it does save into the system as a proper email. So if you open it up with an Outlook client or with your mail client, that will open up as a normal email, which you can send, reply, open up the attachments, and so forth.
All right, so thanks, Ming. We can go back through that in one of our special sessions coming up in the next few weeks. I've got some questions here from the floor, so I'll just sort of run through them now. I can answer some of these anyway. So one question is this product installed on a PC or a server? So the answer is basically both. You can install it on a PC, you can install it on a server. We actually have a web application also that's part of this product suite that we could be working from an iPhone or an iPad or an Android phone, those type of things, anything that's HTML5 as well. So, but again, we can take that, show more in depth on that later on in another session. Peter asked, is it easy to configure and set up? Yes. Ming, you might want to talk about that just with the configuration files.
Yep. So in terms of the installation, very straightforward installation. Configuration of the documents, again, very easy because we don't actually have any scripting or coding that you that you need to perform. It's all out of the box. Our integrations with DocuShare, with 25 other document management systems, they're also out of the box. So we've done, let's say we've done the hard work, we've done the integrations. All you need to do is basically click and point to the locations, and away you go. So in terms of the template creation as well, that's all very simple, and we've got a nice interface for you to create a new template.
I'll put these two questions together just for the purpose of time. Do you need all the modules? You talked about a discovery module, etc. The answer to that is basically there's about 15 different modules that are available. the users just need to use the modules that they need. So, for example, if you were doing barcodes, you add on the barcode module. If you're doing handwriting, you would add on what we call our ICR or intelligent character recognition module. So if you don't need it, you don't need to add that to the collection. One of the questions briefly about ODBC. So we mentioned about third-party databases. EzeScan can, for example, grab a PO number, go and look at an external database system and pull that information back from that external database system. So anything basically that's SQL, Oracle, we know that's virtually everything that's out there.
With that also, we can import data, apply it on a document, but the good thing with EzeScan also is we don't have to just output to one location, we can output to multiple locations. So that could be another accounting package that you need information to output to.
So something like Sage, for example, we can output into that. Bob's got a question. Emails. Is it, do we handle both the attachments, or is it attachment or the body? The answer to that is we can handle the attachment of an email and process that. We can handle the body of the email and process that, or we can do both. Ming alluded to this before. How many systems can we work with? We've got about 25, 26 plus systems that we work with. So not only the likes of Xerox DocuShare, for example, but you have people that in your customer base that might be using SharePoint. There's a list on our website. Happy to go through any of those, and we can talk about those at another time. But there are lots of major EUMS systems that we work with. Obviously, from the Xerox side, customers may or may not have a system, but we work with most of them out there. License requirements. So we're talking about named or concurrent licenses here. So EzeScan can be configured on a named basis, a concurrent or floating license, or a server component. And basically what we've shown you today is the PC side of things, the workstation side of things, but you could just as easily have no software, but have the server in the back end and walk up to a Xerox copier, type in some metadata fields. EzeScan will poll that from the server side and push that into the document management system of your choice. One of the questions was, how does it work with Xerox copiers? So, for example, just as an aside note, if you go into YouTube, type in EzeScan, you'll actually see some basic, very basic videos of EzeScan working with the Xerox copiers and pushing into various document management systems. One other question here, someone's asked the question about how does it compare to other products out there. Well, obviously our product's better. We don't want to go into it too much, but some of the products that you might have seen in the Xerox world may scan from the copier and push to, or partially push to a document management system. The good thing about EzeScan is that you have the choice of either pushing directly to the document management system or pushing it somewhere where you can actually review that document before you push it up into a document management system. That's a big difference for some of the other systems that are out there. It's very easy to use. You've got this job button manager that makes it very easy for a user to click and point and shoot. One of the other things is that with EzeScan you can scan. There's no limitation to the amount of documents you can scan in a day or a year. So you could be scanning 100 documents or 100,000 documents a day. You're not going to get penalised with some other solutions have click charges, for example. EzeScan doesn't have that. I think we've covered most of the questions. If there's any more, I'll bring them to, we can review some of these questions in the next sessions that we have. Thanks very much for your attendance today. Really appreciate it. And we'll speak to you soon. We'll send you out an invite for some of our other webinars coming up with regards to accounts payable, our email, a bit more in depth, and perhaps forms processing, mailroom, things like that as well. Thank you.